One thing I want to put on here, a little asterisk, is no emotion is bad. We don't want to ever try to get rid of any emotion. It seems like, I just want to get rid of anger and never feel anger. Well, it's kind of like, I use this analogy a lot of, we have this nervous system, this brilliant nervous system, and on the ends of our fingertips, we've got these nerve endings that if I put my hand on a hot stove, it hurts. And I want to be able to feel that pain. So I know to remove my hand from the stove. Your emotions are your guidance system. You don't want to decapitate part of your guidance system because you want to always be guided by source or aware of when you're off track of what your inner being is thinking. And so it's like having a tool like this and the awareness of what emotions mean so that you can go, okay, that feels uncomfortable. I'm going to close my eyes, breathe, and focus on the emotion, release the resistance to then switch my attention to where source is calling me, which is generally not back to that topic that got you wobbly in the first place. It's generally like, I was focused here, I got wobbly. Because I'm wobbly, it's hard to take my focus off because now I'm trying to fix it. Now I'm talking to people about it. Now it's getting bigger and hairier and grossness and blah, blah. So I'm going to calibrate myself to soothe myself to be like what Janine felt last night. Is like, you know what? It's not really a big deal. And when you get to a place like that, it gives you permission to unfocus from it because you know what? Source is all over this.
Welcome to the Delicious Alignment Body Love and Food Freedom podcast, where we discuss all things law of attraction and learning how to love your body and your food, as well as how to attract more health and wellness into your life with ease. I'm your host, Rhonda Ryder, author of Delicious Alignment, How 25 Women Learn to Love and Transform Their Bodies Using Abraham Hicks and the Law of Attraction. Today, I interview Gina Mallison, the Queen of Calibration. In this conversation, Gina and I talk about the power of non-attachment, being in a non-resistant state, and how you can get there. You'll also hear Gina coach Margo through her feelings of self-criticism about her food choices. I just want to formally introduce Gina. I think you guys know that she's the creator of the Mallison method, which is the method I predominantly use in my coaching. She's got like 30 people or more in her training program right now. I've been training with her for over a year and a half. With this method. I think I told the story yesterday of how I found you, how I started hijacking your method and using it in my coaching. And then I said, I need to reach out to her and tell her what I'm doing, fess up and say, but she loved it. She loved it.
I loved it.
Oh my God.
Like Rhonda's like, I don't know if I'm in integrity. I feel like I'm stealing what you're doing. I'm like, that's one reason why I put these videos out for people. If you want to like practice with it and you're not paying me, that's okay. Like I want, my biggest desire is for as many people in the entire world that want to have access to a tool to help them feel better, as well as gain more clarity on applying the concepts of Abraham Hicks teachings to their life. Like, go for it. Yeah. So I think it was the thing that was needed in order for us to finally connect. Cause I can't tell you how many times I was like, I want to just reach out to her and say, hi, I don't know if you know who I am. So it's so funny when we came together, talk about mutuality. Both of us had the same feelings of love and appreciation and adoration and respect for each other. And of course, then we came together in that way. So it was a beautiful use for us to connect.
Yeah, it was. And it was amazing how I started using that method, and even without any training. Of course, then I did get a year and a half or whatever of training. I'm still in the training program because I love it. And just to be in that community. Yeah. So tonight we're going to talk more about self-calibration, and we're also going to talk about calibrations, and I'm going to interview Gina or just like turn it over to Gina, and then she's gonna do a calibration with Margo, right, Margo? Yeah, she's all excited, Gina. She's all excited.
I love it.
I've been working with Margo. Margo, can you share a little bit about what you've been getting out of the calibration coaching with me, if you like?
Sure. I have to admit that originally when I started and I was watching I was in one of your group classes a while back, and I wasn't too impressed with the calibrations. I just thought, oh, come on. It just didn't seem like it was doing anything. But then when I started with you, Rhonda, and I was still skeptical when then I thought, well, what have I got to lose? And I've really been impressed with how different I feel already. I'm not like fixed or whatever. I haven't let go of what I need to let go of yet, but I can feel a change happening each time we do one of these calibrations. It really is interesting and amazing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. And
I'm really, that's why I signed up immediately for the next class, because I want to keep going and
Good.
get better at this.
Yeah.
yes. And I know it's like we want to get there and I'm going to arrive and it's
Like
going
there's
to
an
be all
ending point, like even that I'm fixed and there's nothing broken with you, but it's more of like just be able to practice. And I know you know that too, but it's just practicing. First of all, just releasing resistance and old thought patterns that would just knock you off your disc.
Right.
And because those old thoughts and feelings have momentum, of course it takes a little while. But the beautiful thing is, like you mentioned, like they're so the calibrations are so, they feel so good and you get to see the results of them. It's just like, it just gets more and more and easier and better and better and better. And there just isn't an ending to it. Like I still get calibrations. I have a calibration scheduled with somebody on Friday. I've got my assistant in my program, Stephanie, she calibrates me. It's a never ending journey, but it's a joyful journey and your life just gets better and better. And yeah, it just feels good. So
Yeah. So I will turn it over to you, Gina, and we were having a little bit of a discussion about self-calibration versus getting calibrated by a practitioner. And yes, there is a difference. There is a more of a shift per se, most likely when you're getting calibrated by a practitioner. But this can really help, like if you're like I said yesterday, driving down the road and or it's a tool you can use to feel better in that moment when you don't have access to a practitioner and when you're on your own.
Yeah. Rhonda and I were chatting a little bit before this call started, and I was talking to her about, like, got the self-calibration sheet and that can be helpful, but even I have a very, very difficult time like calibrating myself. Like for sure, like impossible really practically to calibrate myself to the full kind of completion that you can get from a guided one. There is an ability to use these tools and the understanding of the opportunity to, like Rhonda mentioned yesterday, the stop, drop, and calibrate. Once you notice you're in a wobble and feeling uncomfortable, to literally give yourself the permission to stop everything, close your eyes, and focus all your attention into your body, away from the chatter of the story, away from anything outside of you. That's one of the reasons why it's so beneficial to close your eyes and really tune into the sensation of discomfort in your body and ask yourself these questions on the sheet that help you. It's a number of reasons why this process is so effective, even when you are doing it on yourself, by turning all your attention away from the story and just into the sensation and asking yourself these questions of heavy, light, or medium, moving or still, what's it made out of, what color, all that kind of stuff. It allows you to feel the sensation of the emotion and kind of in a way take a charge out of it, almost make it like you're observing the sensation rather than the sensation being you. Like you're not the anger, you are you who is feeling a sensation of anger. And so it's kind of the first step in getting a little untwirled and unknotted from being overcome by this thing. But then it also, there's just something about creating through these questions, the ability to observe this kind of abstract object and then just either ask yourself or sometimes ask the object, do you like being purple? Or would you rather be a different color? Well, I'd rather be sunshine yellow. Okay. And just asking these simple questions that seem so silly in a way, but then allowing the thing to change little by little and noticing even a slightest improvement. And that does feel a little better. I didn't go from total discomfort to feeling satisfaction or joy, nor could you do that anyway. But I went from here to here, and now I'm going to change the texture. And I went from here to here, and now I'm going to change the shape. And I went from here to here, and you're just feeling a little bit better and 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 a little bit better. And then all of a sudden you notice, oh, I'm actually feeling kind of good. I'm actually feeling calm, or I'm actually feeling satisfaction. Or maybe potentially on a self-calibration, you can get to a feeling of joy or bliss. That's definitely possible. And then you're just a giant reset. One of the things that can be extra beneficial when you're working with a practitioner is once you get to those quote unquote higher vibrations or non-resistant vibrations in a complete way, being able to be guided back to look at that topic and see it from a different perspective. It's one of the things that just reminds me, Janine, when she was saying how she went through the process while you were guiding, I think, Marina, and she actually got to see like, oh, it's not a big hairy deal that I was making it out to be. That's huge. That's everything. It releases the attachment like you guys talked about last night, and it allows you to then focus on something else. It's not like, oh, I feel better, so I'm just going to continue to focus here. Like one reason why, you have all sorts of emotions. One thing I want to put on here, a little asterisk, is no emotion is bad. We don't want to ever try to get rid of any emotion. It seems like, well, I just want to get rid of anger and never feel anger. Well, it's kind of like, I use this analogy a lot of, we have this nervous system, this brilliant nervous system, and on the ends of our fingertips, we've got these nerve endings that if I put my hand on a hot stove, it hurts. And I want to be able to feel that pain, so I know to remove my hand from the stove. Your emotions are your guidance system. You don't want to decapitate part of your guidance system because you want to always be guided by source or aware of when you're off track of what your inner being is thinking. And so it's like having a tool like this and the awareness of what emotions mean so that you can go, okay, that feels uncomfortable. I'm going to close my eyes, breathe, and focus on the emotion, release the resistance to then switch my attention to where source is calling me, which is generally not back to that topic that got you wobbly in the first place. It's generally like, I was focused here, I got wobbly. Because I'm wobbly, it's hard to take my focus off because now I'm trying to fix it. Now I'm talking to people about it. Now it's getting bigger and hairier and grossness and blah, blah. So I'm going to calibrate myself to soothe myself to be like what Janine felt last night. Is like, you know what? It's not really a big deal. And when you get to a place like that, it gives you permission to unfocus from it because you know what? Source is all over this. Your inner being, source, magical fairies of the universe, they're all over this. There's nothing you need to do. You don't even need to focus on it anymore in order for it to experience movement into the direction of what you want it to become. In fact, there's this segment of Abe where one of the hot seaters asked, like, is it possible for me to not focus enough on a desire? And like, if I have a desire, is it possible that if I don't give it enough of my attention or focus that it won't happen? And she said, in fact, the opposite is true. If you have a desire, it's there in the vortex and itself is gathering cooperative components to it. If you focus on that desire and it feels purely good, you're adding to the momentum for sure. But if you focus on that desire and you've got some split energy, you've got resistance, as you focus on that desire with any kind of resistance, that resistance will increase too. And it will slow down your receiving of it. There's a quote out there from Abraham of like, a light desire with non-resistance is where the magic is. Light desire. Mm-hmm. Light desire means you're not fixated on it. You're not trying to make it happen. Like you're not, in this work, like Rhonda, I think mentioned last night, we're not trying to manifest anything. If you're trying to manifest anything, there's resistance in there. You're not trusting source to be all over.
It was like when I met you, Gina, mm-hmm. I had to unlearn a lot of things, especially, mm-hmm. I mean, even though I love Abraham Hicks, maybe it was the interpretation of the work. Like so many of us were acting as if it was not okay to feel these negative emotions. And so many of us, and maybe, maybe that's okay. That's fine, whatever anybody's doing. But so many of us were focusing on the manifestation, mm-hmm. and putting, as you say, the happy face sticker on something that actually I'm feeling crappy, but I'm going to put a,
I'm going to, whether or not you acknowledge that you're pretending or not, that's a thing. A lot of people that have, don't want to make blanket statements here, but there's a lot of people that I've run across that listen to the teachings of Abraham Hicks. And like you mentioned, maybe misinterpret a little bit. Like, I don't know how dream boards got to be such a big thing in law of attraction, because Abraham Hicks, like if you go to YouTube and do Abraham Hicks dream boards, there's maybe only a couple segments about it, and most of the time she's like, don't do it. This is not about trying to make the manifestation happen. In fact, she has something called the creation box now, where if you notice you have a desire, you might write it down, but then you stick it in the box and then you forget about it. And the act of actually sticking the box and forgetting about it is not about the manifestation or the creation of it. In fact, it's already done. The moment you realize you have a desire, it's already done. But really, the benefit of anything, if you like have a little box of all the different things you recognize you had a desire of, and you just kind of put it in a box and forgot about it, the benefit of like maybe one day opening that box and looking at it is for you to recognize, like, oh my gosh, that was done. I got that. Well, that's still not there. I'll just put it back in the box. But I got that. And it allows you to connect the dots of, I had a desire, I let it go. There's no, when you let it go of a desire, you're actually not letting go of the desire. It exists, it's in your vortex, but you're letting go of your focus on it from a place of not having it yet. You're focused on your effort to try to make it happen. You let go, let God.
Can I just share an example? Like
yes.
with the cruise that I went on in March, I
yes.
had a few of you that we know, Gina and I know in her group, and we're going on the cruise. And I just thought, it would be nice to go on that cruise. But if I went on the cruise, I want to have my own room and I want a balcony. Otherwise, I don't want a roommate, and I don't want a little, I don't want to be in a little shoebox with no window or anything like that. And that was it. I really didn't give it a second thought. It was a light desire.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you contact me and say, so-and-so is not going. Do you want this person's spot? And it's only this much money, which was a lot less than.
It was like half price for.
And it's like, how could I not go? How could I not go? And how many times have I had a strong desire? I really want something. I really want it so bad. And I'm so attached to having it. And it's like, like the thing that you want the most, like everyone's got like something, right? I want to lose that. I deal with a lot with helping people with food and body image. And it's like, I want to lose weight. And we're still like so attached to that, that there's so much resistance because of it. But the light desire just allows it to come in.
Abraham will even say, if having a really, really strong desire is an indicator that there's also a lot of resistance. The more you really, really, really want it, or like it almost starts to become a need. And like that's when these calibration techniques are really good. Again, not to try to make it happen so that you feel better, but to actually get your attention off of it. And then have it just like, Abraham all the time talks about the words surprise and delight. Guess what? Surprise and delight happens when you're not looking in that direction and it goes right in front of you. Talk about surprise and delight rather than trying to pound it into place or like manipulate or strategize. How am I going to make that happen? Not saying you can't create something from a lot of effort and action, but it's not satisfying along the way. And if it's not satisfying along the way, I promise you, even when you get that thing you think you wanted, you're not going to be satisfied.
And look at the example. There's another channeler that we listen to, Wiola, and they told Anya, another practitioner, Mallison method practitioner, she's saying, I want more clients, and of course she wants more clients, but she's been a little twirled up about it in the last couple of months. And then she talked to Wiola about it because Gina brings them on, and they told her to take 3 days off or even longer from detox from the thinking about it.
They said in your mind, because she's like, well, what do I do when those thoughts come up? She was trying to wrestle the thoughts to the ground or like figure out what the message is from source of it. And we always basically saying, put an out of office sign in your mind to that topic. Like, I am just not thinking about that topic. And they essentially said a 3-day detox from thinking about that topic. And literally in those 3 days, just allow yourself to continually ask the question, what do I feel like doing now? What do I feel like doing now? What do I feel like doing now? I want to add to that, what if you just did that even beyond 3 days? Like, that's really where the magic is. It's not like 3 days and then go back to focusing on it. And she actually found, she like after that call, she scheduled herself a vacation with the intention of like, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to go there by myself. And she realized, I have never in my life ever taken a vacation like this where it's just me, like literally no responsibilities, no dog, no kids, no husband. In fact, she booked herself at a place where there's nothing pre-planned, with the intention of just waking up every day saying, what do I feel like doing now? And if that means I feel like going back to bed, or I feel like taking a bubble bath, or I feel like just watching, she's from Poland, and Polish movies from when I was a teen, or maybe something I just think of on the fly, but I'm just going to continue to ask myself, what do I feel like doing now? And even in just the commitment to like booking that with the intention to do that, within a few days, she got like three clients, and then by the afternoon got a fourth client. She just got another client today. Like, it's literally being like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. She had this strong desire, but she kept thinking like, okay, I need to figure out Instagram, I need to figure out YouTube, how do I get the word out? And I kept saying drop it, but she kept like, but like da, 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 da. And then finally, like when Viola talked about it and also shared a story that Costa had from a beautiful manifestation that came on the heels of lots of naps and lots of bubble baths, that's when she finally said, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. By the way, that reminds me, we're kind of going all over the place, but the whole like lots of naps thing, and then the big manifestation finally comes. It reminds me of this hot seat, or some of you might have heard this story, where this lady gets up in the hot seat and just is rampaging about how amazing her life has been. And she wrote a book, and Wayne Dyer wrote the forward to it. And I think she wrote the book in like 1 or 3 days or something. And she goes, and I won the lottery. And everyone's like, what? Like, she just listing all this stuff that happened. And she said, by the way, I want you and everybody to know, in the week or 2 weeks in leading up to winning the lottery, she took, sorry about my French, but she took a shit ton of naps. She was napping right and left. She unfocused from problems. One of the beautiful things about napping is it stops your mind. You're not thinking while you're sleeping. It stops that mind that has resistant filled thoughts. So naps are one of the best things you can do. Bubble baths, walking in nature, getting your mind off the topic of your desire, and allow the desire that's in your vortex to gather the cooperative components itself without your resistance being involved, slowing it down.
Yeah, really fascinating. I love, one of my favorite quotes lately is, oh, look at your kitty, Margo. One of my favorite quotes is I care, but not that much. It's from somebody I interviewed on one of my podcast episodes, Zara Mahoon. I care, but not that much. Yeah, and it's just so great to, whenever I start getting too, like, I notice I'm really invested in this. I really want this, because like I was sharing, like this weekend I got this beautiful invitation for this weekend away that I could not have orchestrated myself. It just fell into my lap, and it was everything that I wanted that I didn't even know I wanted. And there it was. And I didn't plan it. I didn't know I wanted it. So that's your inner being. So it's like us getting out of the way and trying to control everything and trying to make things happen. Just having light desires and being easy about it.
Yeah. And having the thing you actually care about more than anything is how you feel. If you make that your number one priority, there's nothing I care about more than how I feel right now. And so anything that I'm focused on right now that has me feeling discomfort, I'm not going to judge myself for feeling discomfort or negative feelings. I'm going to take that as a signal from source to stop, drop, and chill out. Stop, drop, and nap. Stop, drop, and calibrate. Stop, drop, and watch cute puppy or kitty cat videos.
Kitty cats.
Pet a cat. Go pet a cat. Easiest way to get in the vortex is pet a cat. Or Elizabeth, she's got dogs, and just whatever it is. Like one of the gals in our program, Arlene, she's got a new grandbaby who's like 6 or 9 months old, and there's nothing that brings her more joy and slurps her up into the vortex faster than watching her daughter Brooke either FaceTime or the videos that her daughter sends to her. And it's like, just do more of that. Literally, you are worthy enough.
This is self-calibration. This is self-calibration.
Yeah, talk about like, so like we've got the Mallison method calibration, but watching your granddaughter on a video is a calibration. It's calibrating you to a feeling that feels good, a non-resistant state, so that things from your vortex can come. And you're not looking for them to come. You're not setting your timer, like, how long has it been? Hey, I've been feeling joy for 20 minutes. Where's the thing for my vortex? You're not on the lookout. You don't need to be on the lookout. It'll smack you in the face, just like it did with Rhonda when she was on that gravel road going, oh my God, these trees. Oh my goodness. Like, I love that she said, like, a manifestation of a desire lands in my lap and I didn't even know I wanted it. You don't even need to identify consciously yourself, the desire. Your inner being has been keeping track all along.
I'm super excited to tell you about my new program, Easy Peasy Eating, How to Create a Yummy Relationship with Your Body and Food, which starts on November 16th. This is a 3-month program that gives you the opportunity to experience better feeling emotions about any topic, including your body, your health, and your food choices. Join a small and intimate community of like-minded people and discover, maybe for the first time in your adult life, how to love your body and celebrate your food. To get all the details, go to deliciousalignment.com/easy or click the link in the show notes.
So I think we should go ahead and move into the calibration. Margo, I can feel Margo is excited. I can feel Margo.
Yes, I can tell too. And our kitty cat's excited. Oh my God. I love this. This happens all the time. And maybe your cat does this already anyway, but I will tell you, when I'm on calls with people that have, especially cats, like Terry Thomas Selena knows this, they're good friends in our coaching program. When Terry comes on for a calibration, if the cat's not there right away, by the time Terry's like really feeling good, the cat's just all up in her face. So I would say, as your cat does it, just allow yourself to, doesn't bother me if her face is completely covered by the cat's butt. And then
she just came here today, so she's really very friendly for a first time. She just came. Judith just got her today.
Brand new kit.
Wow, that's really quite impressive for a cat. Normally, they'll hide in the bathroom for a week. They'll come out, let alone crawl all over you. That's delightful.
She's been nose to nose with the dog already, and
wow.
She hissed at the other cat though, so that'll take a little work.
Yeah. All right, Miss Margo. So you've been through multiple calibrations, so I don't need to explain nothing to you at all, but I do want to ask you, what would you like to calibrate today?
What I've been working on with Rhonda and am still working on is just to have a peaceful relationship around food and not constantly feel judgment about everything that I put in my mouth or everything I should be eating that I'm not eating. And just because I've done enough studying of this kind of stuff to understand that the more I focus on the negativity of this judgment and fear and all of that, the more I'm going to get. And I'm trying to find a way through these calibrations to move beyond that and just have peace around food. So I can just enjoy food. And if I have more than one cookie, not go into a big panic attack over it.
Yeah. So you're where you want to feel peace around food. And sometimes it's nice to even when before the calibration. And one thing I want to point out is, in a calibration, we're never trying to aim at a particular positive feeling. It's really wonderful that sometimes I'll ask this. I asked it today in our group calls to somebody before we started the calibration. I asked them, without anything changing, without any conditions changing, how would you rather feel? And instead of feeling anger, how would you rather feel? And it was nice for them to just acknowledge that question and then acknowledge, again, without anything changing. So without eating any fewer cookies or whatever it might be, how would you rather feel? So peace is one of them. Sometimes it's nice to, this is almost kind of like grid work, Abraham Hicks grid work, is I like to feel peace. I'd for sure like to feel no big deal. I'd like to feel calm and kind of like, and don't just name good feeling emotions just to name good feeling emotions, but really like, it's almost like, sometimes I like to use this method called magic wand. Like if you could have a magic wand, or imagine somebody that you know that allows themselves to eat whatever with no judgment, what do you think are the emotions that they feel? Will they feel peace, no big deal, ease, comfort, satisfaction? And as you identify some different emotions that you'd like to feel, rather than just trying to quickly go down a list, is like, for sure, peace. And when you recognize I want to feel peace, well, I know what peace feels like. If I didn't know what peace feels like, I wouldn't even be able to identify I'd want to feel peace. And I know there's other areas of my life where I know what peace feels like. Probably sitting there, and you said you have a dog, so maybe sitting on the couch and just watching your dog snoozing by the fireplace and watching their belly go up and down with their breathing and just feeling peace with that. So there are areas of your life where you have these emotions there that you don't yet have in the relationship with food. So as you consider how you'd like to feel with food, this is like, Rhonda will do this. Is it tomorrow night? You'll do the tuning exercises. This will be so valuable for you as well. Understanding that you can just identify the emotion you want to feel and focus on something that is easy for you to feel peace on and just feel into it. So that's really good. Now, before we begin the calibration, I want to ask you, Margo, and it might help to close your eyes. You get to decide. I want you to think back in the last few days or week or so. Can you identify a particular moment in time with food, either a meal or a snack, that you really felt that familiar icky feeling?
Every time I eat.
Like literally every meal.
Yeah.
So I want you to pick one. Do you want to pick like dinner tonight or breakfast or something from yesterday? Pick one that kind of stands out.
Okay, I got one.
Okay. When was this?
Last night.
It was last night. So was it a dinner or a snack?
Dinner.
Dinner. Good. So with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine kind of going back in time and being in your body last night with dinner. When did you feel the most discomfort? Was it before dinner started, during, or after?
After.
It was after. So that's where I want you to go in your mind. Imagine being in your body last night after dinner. And what do you notice is the emotion that you're feeling?
Anger at myself.
Anger. Yeah. And go ahead and allow yourself to feel that feeling of anger now. Normally, outside of a calibration, I wouldn't recommend you focus on feeling this anger, but because we want to calibrate it, it's very important that she allows herself to feel that feeling now. And let me know when you've got it active.
Mm-hmm.
Good. What do you notice as the main looping thought as you remember this feeling of anger?
The main what?
The main looping thought, like the thought.
Oh, I've done it again. I've done it again. I've done it again. I've done it again.
Yeah,
You know.
good. I've done it again. Good. Feel that feeling of anger and that thought of I've done it again. And tell me, where in your body do you feel that feeling of anger?
Mostly centered right in my chest. It's a tightness.
Good.
You know.
Yeah. Good. Bring all your attention to that sensation in your chest. I'm going to keep track of the topic. You bring all of your attention to that sensation of tightness in your chest and tell me, does it feel more heavy, light, or medium?
It feels very heavy.
Very heavy. Good. And you notice, is there any movement with that heavy feeling in your chest, or is it completely still?
It's just like a solid block sitting there.
For the sake of time, we will jump ahead to the end of Margo's calibration, where she is receiving her insights from a new perspective, her higher frequency. If you would like to view the full calibration session, you can go to my YouTube channel called Delicious Alignment or find the video link in the show notes.
With your eyes closed, noticing how your body feels, I want you to imagine being in your body now and imagine floating back in time, bringing these delicious sensations in your body with you, floating all the way back in time to last night, even before dinner. And imagine replacing that old you with this you, not even looking back, but now you're feeling this feeling in your body. You're in your home. And I want you to imagine from like a blank slate being in your body, feeling this way, maybe even noticing what gets enhanced about your posture or your breathing or how your muscles are. If you imagine feeling this warm, comfy feeling and moving through dinner, what's different about your experience with sitting down and eating when you're feeling this way?
There's no negative self-talk.
Oh, what's there instead?
There isn't really anything. It's just quiet. I'm not either for or against what I'm doing. I'm just having something to eat.
Yeah.
And that's
No
it.
judgment.
There's
It's
no
no
judgment. There's no emotion.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm not all in a tizzy about what I should or shouldn't be eating, or how much, or how
Yeah.
little, or what time it is, any of that.
None of that. Just allow yourself with your eyes closed to just bask in this moment. You're there and you're tasting the foods. Notice your posture, the look on your face, how you're moving. Do you imagine, are you with somebody? Are you having any conversation? Are you by yourself? What else do you notice is enhanced now that there's like peace and quiet in your mind and you're just enjoying the meal?
I'm not wolfing my food down.
Oh,
I'm just taking a bite and chewing and enjoying it, and not feeling the need to like shovel it all in and move on so I don't have to think about what I just ate.
notice that. You're allowing yourself to enjoy the experience of eating. There's no judgment, no thoughts, except, boy, this tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Notice
And
there.
that's almost an unheard of feeling
Isn't
for
that,
me.
isn't
Mhm.
that beautiful? And this
At
is,
least for a long, long time.
yeah. And this is the beauty about these calibrations, and not expecting for you to feel like this has been a while coming since you felt this feeling. And now you just get to be in this moment and just savor and remember what that feeling feels like and
Mhm.
experience it now. What would you say is the most dominant emotion you're noticing in this moment as you imagine eating dinner last night, feeling this way? What's the emotion right now?
Contentment
Mm-hmm.
and a sense of almost awe that it could be
Yeah.
that easy.
It could really be this easy. Yes.
Because
And
I make it so hard.
really all you have to do is stop making it hard, and the ease is just right there, because that's what you ordered up to the universe. Universe, I'd like this to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then universe asking it is given, and you weren't receiving it because you thought it'd be hard to make it easy, but then you just realize, oh, yeah. Yeah. Where do you notice this feeling of contentment shows up as you imagine eating? Is that in your chest or your whole body?
Pretty much my whole body, but it's centered right in my chest.
Mhm.
For me, it seems like most of the time my emotions are right here, good or
Yeah.
bad, or
Yeah.
positive or negative, or whatever
Yes.
you want to say.
Yeah. Good. So feeling content in your body, imagine going through all of dinner, and let me know in your mind when you're at the end of dinner. Love it. You're just taking your time. So easy.
I'm finished.
Good. And do you notice anything different about after dinner, like what you do with your dishes, or what do you notice in the first few minutes or moments after you finish? What's different or enhanced than the normal?
I'm not feeling guilty.
Yeah.
I'm not talking bad to myself.
Yeah. What thoughts are there? You're recognizing, well, those old thoughts are absent. Do you notice any other thoughts that are there, either about yourself, or maybe the thoughts are just like looking at something else that's unrelated to food? What thoughts are
Yeah,
there?
there's no energy around the food or the meal at all. It's like
At
just
all. Gone.
neutral. Yeah.
Just gone. Doesn't that feel
Easy
great?
peasy.
Talk about easy peasy. Bam. We just nailed it right now. We weren't even trying. Talk about easy. We weren't even trying, and you got to a place of easy peasy. Wow, it can really be that easy. Imagine going through the whole rest of your evening feeling this ease and contentment and a little bit of awe. What else do you notice might be different about any activities in between dinner and bedtime now that you're feeling this and completely absent of those old thoughts?
I just feel relaxed and content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going over and over about, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
not good for my health. I should have eaten this. I shouldn't have eaten that. It's too late at night, whatever.
It's just, that's all gone and feeling content and relaxed. Let's focus on that feeling relaxed a little bit. This is, again, one of my favorite parts of this integration, the third part of the Mallison method. Now that you're feeling these good feelings, let's milk them and let's have you become even more familiar with these feelings. Where does relaxed show up in your body?
All over.
All over. Heavy, light, or medium?
Very light.
Very
Just
light. Moving or still?
kind of still. It's just a state of being.
Yeah. This all over feeling in your body. Would you say it's made of? Is it just like air or energy, or does it feel like a blanket or silk? What's it made out of, this relaxed feeling?
I don't think it's made out of anything. It's a lack of tension and judgment and fear and anger. It's a lack of all the negative side of emotions, and it's just is.
Yeah, it just is. I love it. Good. I want you to, with your eyes closed, feeling this isness, this relaxed feeling. Imagine making your way to bed last night, feeling this relaxed contentment. You crawl into bed, put your head on your pillow, curl up in the duvet. And notice what even gets enhanced when you're laying in bed, being in this energy of relaxed and contentment. What's even yummier about bedtime?
I just go right to sleep.
Is that different than what normally happens? Doesn't that feel good to be able to say?
It feels wonderful.
Doesn't it? Imagine feeling relaxed and content and allowing yourself to fall right asleep. Just letting your body sink into the mattress that's completely got you. Oh, imagine having a wonderful evening of sleep. And imagine waking up this morning. Even before opening your eyes, imagine your consciousness awakens and you take those first breaths after having a restful night's sleep. Imagine waking up, maybe even being familiar right away of that content and relaxed feeling is right there, because your vibration is right where you last left it when you fell asleep, and it's right there for you in the morning. Content and relaxed. Tell me, what do you notice is different with your morning routine? Do you bask in bed for a little bit if you're feeling relaxed and content, or do you get right up and start your day? What gets enhanced this morning when you're feeling this way?
I just kind of snuggle back down underneath the covers and just enjoy not having to rush out anywhere, and I can take my time. And
oh, I love hearing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. There's no rush, no feeling of responsibility. You are laying in bed feeling content, relaxed, and basically, essentially, you asked yourself, well, what do I feel like doing? And the answer was like, staying in bed for a little bit is what I feel like doing. And you gave yourself permission to do it without any judgment. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine allowing yourself to just snuggle in bed and just getting up out of bed when you're ready. When the answer to the question is, what do I feel like doing now? And you say, I feel like getting up and getting going. Yeah. Imagine, do you have breakfast in the morning? What's different if you imagine feeling this content, relaxed feeling and moving your way towards breakfast? What's different about that experience?
I'm just looking forward to breakfast. And there again, I don't have any judgment around it. I don't have any energy around it at all. It's
There's just no charge.
Right.
It just is time to eat. What do I feel like eating? Do you notice you end up eating the same kind of meal you would have otherwise, or is it different? There's no judgment either way, but what do you notice?
I tend to be a person that eats the same thing for breakfast. So yeah, it's the same thing and it's good and I enjoy it. But there again, I'm not putting any energy around it. So I don't feel anything. I
You just don't feel anything. It's like a non-event. It's almost like a non-event. You're not thinking about it while you do it. You don't think about it when you're done. When you're done, you just focus on the next thing that's in front of you. Imagine going through your whole day feeling this relaxed, content feeling.
That'd be awesome.
Right? And you're living it right now. Your mind doesn't know any different. You're allowing yourself to experience it now. With your eyes closed, bring all of your focus and attention back into your body right now as you feel it, right here with me, keeping your eyes closed. What do you imagine might be different going ahead? Do you still have dinner to eat tonight, or is that already done?
No, it's already done.
Yeah. What do you notice, or any thoughts about your dinner that you had tonight?
I don't seem to have any judgment about it.
Good. Is there any sense or feeling of discomfort at all about dinner tonight that's remaining? It's okay if there is.
No.
It
was just a meal.
That's all. That's perfect. I was just going to ask, what is your thought? And your thought is, well, it's just a meal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not life or death. It's not
Nothing
health
serious.
or sickness. It's food.
It's just his. It's just food. That's all.
It's just a meal.
Yeah. From this lovely non-charged vantage point, as you look at the topic in food from a general place, do you have any new thoughts or awarenesses about it that might be easy to be aware of moving forward?
Well, I have the thought that perhaps I could do a little bit of self-calibrating before I eat.
Heck yeah, baby. Yeah.
And kind of learn to tune out and let go of the negativity and angst and emotion surrounding food.
100%. In fact, Rhonda might post in the group some things that we've been chatting about in my training group recently about food. Abraham says, before you eat any meal, allow yourself to take just as much time as you might devote to a meal, which might be like 15 minutes or less, really, and do yourself a brilliant favor of spending that much time before the meal in breathing and releasing resistance and lining up with the no big deal of it.
That's a great idea.
It's brilliant. Just imagine. I'm just going to kind of stop, drop, and calibrate. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to bring my attention and awareness into my body. And I'm going to just scan to see if there's any areas or sensations in my body that have discomfort. And I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to thank my awareness for any sensations of discomfort. I'm going to ask myself, where are you in my body? Heavy, light, or medium? What are you made of? What do you look like? Do you like looking that way, or do you want to change your color, your texture? Just allow yourself to it's a fun little game, nothing serious going on. And notice with every little change, oh, that feels better, that feels better. And the journey to feeling content and neutral is actually quite quick, especially when you catch it early or plan it early before it got out of control with momentum. It's brilliant.
Right.
Brilliant clarity you're receiving. Anything else you want to point out to yourself or to us about clarity of meals going forward?
No, but it's just kind of like a little epiphany. It's like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah. And talk about that was easy. Like you said before, like, can it really be this easy? Wait a minute. Could it really be this easy that before each meal, I just take 5 or 10 minutes, close my eyes, breathe, and release these ethereal sensations in my body and feel good, and then eat? And then all that mind chatter is just not even there with ease. I don't have to fight against anything. Could it really be that easy? It can. In the beginning, it might be a little difficult, and it's okay if it is, but it also might be easy. And especially as you do this, even maybe to start out with 1 meal a day, but you might notice I want to do it on all my meals. I've got plenty of time. And then you notice you get easier and easier at this. And eventually you won't even need to do this quote unquote pre-paving work. It'll just be there. Instead of the old feeling associated with food, easily right there will be this feeling of content and relax right out of the get-go without any focused intention to do so. It'll just be there for you because that's what's in your vortex. Ask and it is given. Yeah, good. What do you imagine might be enhanced with the whole rest of your night? Once you open your eyes from this, what do you imagine is there for you the rest of tonight with this new little kitty cat in your home?
Well, I imagine playing with the kitty cat. I'm just really thrilled that she's sitting right on my feet right now. And that's pretty amazing for a brand new
Right? Hello.
home. And so I just imagine playing with her and just feeling this relaxed contentment and no constant tape reel going on in my head about what a dirtbag I am for eating this or that, you know.
That's just gone.
Yeah.
And you get to savor this feeling of content and relax and talk about perfect timing to bring a new cat in. You can just pet that cat, be aware of the sensations of its silky fur and its cute little purrs and the warm snuggles it's given to your feet and cute little cold nose on your nose. Just savor the good emotions and just be aware of the absence of thoughts. Good. Take some nice, easy breaths. And when you're ready, you can open your beautiful eyes.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
You did so good, my dear. That was a beautiful demonstration. Really very beautiful demonstration. Thank you so much for creating such a beautiful demonstration for everybody to see the process that really follows along that cheat sheet. This is going to be a great video for you guys to rewatch if you're up for it, if you feel inspired, and go through it. You might just replay this video, not to like be watching it, but to just to listen to me ask my cues to Margo and listen to my questions, not listen to what Margo's saying, but you answer my questions in your body. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Margo.
Oh, thank you. That was awesome.
Wonderful. Any other insights about that, Margo? I mean, for me, it was, you kept going back to just neutrality, not having any more judgment. Like you tapped into your inner being, where your inner being doesn't have any judgment about all that stuff. And so that's the beauty of this process, where we bypass the intellectual mind that's trying to figure everything out and analyze everything, and you get to this place of no judgment. That's what our higher selves are.
Yeah. No judgment except I love you. I love you. You're doing great. I love you. You're amazing. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. That helps us spread the message of body love and food freedom. If you're interested in private coaching, feel free to contact me. Right now I have 3 spots open for new clients. To learn more or to book a session or package, go to deliciousalignment.com/coaching. Find all the links mentioned in this podcast at deliciousalignment.com/podcast, and make sure to join my Facebook group, Delicious Alignment Abraham Hicks. Do you know someone who could benefit from this message? If so, help change their life by sharing this podcast with them.